Unit 2, Lesson 2.1, Graphing Systems of Equations. A system, to make something a system, you have to have two or more equations that have the same variables. And everything we'll do will have the same variables, which in our equations are mainly x and y. A solution to a system of equations are variables or values that make the variables true. Okay, so if you're looking at a graph of two lines, graphically the solution is where they cross. And that point of intersection has an x value and a y value. And that coordinate, if you plugged in to the equations, would make both equations true. For example, if I plugged a value in, I would work out the equation and I would get a true statement, and by true I mean something like 2 equals 2 or 5 equals 5. In other words, those are true statements compared to an untrue statement, which would be something like 2 equals 1. And you can find that out by plugging the points into the equation. In other words, a point that works for both equations. So let's take a look at this holistically. And if you take three different graphs here and look first at two lines intersecting, you have a point of intersection. So your number of solutions is 1. And in comparing the two lines, they have one difference. And that is their slope. The slopes must be different in order for them to intersect. If you have two lines that are parallel, therefore not intersecting at all, the number of solutions is 0. And the reason that is possible is because they have the same slope. However, they do have a difference, and that is that they have a different y-intercept. And that y-intercept would be this for the bottom line and this one for the top line. They have to be different. Otherwise, if they have the same slope and the same y-intercept, they're the same line. And it would look like this. In other words, on this graph I have two different lines, but you only see one because they are exactly the same line. Now if we consider a solution to be a point of intersection, when you have one line or two lines that are exactly the same, so one line is graphed on top of the other, then you have many solutions, or the infinite symbol works. And what they have in common is that they have the same slope and they have the same y-intercept. So three scenarios: different slopes, same slope but different y-intercept, and same slope and same y-intercept. When you talk about consistent and inconsistent, these are terms that you would describe a system that has at least one solution. So that could be this scenario where they have one solution and this scenario where they have many solutions, would be considered consistent. So here you have it intersecting at one point, and here you have they are the same line, and they are called consistent, a consistent system of equations. Inconsistent is when you have no solutions, and no solutions occur when you have parallel lines. And this ends Part 1 video for Lesson 2.1.